So let's talk about a weird paradox, something you might have even noticed in your own life. How is it that the very skills that make you a rock star at work can kind of, well, sabotage your relationships? We're going to break down exactly why this happens and then look at a totally different way to think about connection. I mean, this question probably hits home, right? You're a creative problem solver, you nail complex projects, you meet your goals, you are, let's face it, a high achiever. So why does your partnership, the one thing that's supposed to be your safe harbor, so often feel like the most impossible puzzle you've ever tried to solve? And what's really interesting is how that success at work creates this painful contrast at home. You've achieved all this stuff, so you kind of expect your life to feel smooth, you know? But then, when you're stuck having the same old arguments, it doesn't just feel like a disagreement. It feels like a total, massive failure. And that, right there, actually makes you even more sensitive to feeling hurt. And that leads us straight into the heart of the issue, what you might call the problem-solving trap. It's so easy for high achievers to fall into this because, hey, solving problems is what you do best. But in a relationship, oh man, it backfires spectacularly. Think about it. You see an issue on the surface, chores, money, how to parent the kids, and your brain just clicks into project mode. You start strategizing, you come up with logical solutions, but you're so focused on the tip of the iceberg that you're completely missing the massive emotional tangle that's happening right underneath the water. And here's the absolute key to all of this. That argument you're having about the dishes, it is never, ever really about the dishes. It's about a crack in that deeper emotional bond. And once that connection gets weak, pretty much any small issue can blow up into a huge conflict. Okay, so let me tell you a story that just illustrates this perfectly. It comes from the source author about this reoccurring fight he kept having with his wife, and it involves a time machine. Yes, you heard that right, a time machine. So every single night, it was the same battle. Who's going to do the dishes? He'd get home exhausted, ask his wife to do them, and she would just explode with this zinger you see on the screen. He'd fire back, totally frustrated. It was just a nightly war zone, over a sink full of plates. He'd always end up doing them, but super resentfully, slamming cabinets. The whole cycle was just miserable. So, being the problem solver he is, he decided he was going to come up with the perfect, logical, foolproof solution to end this once and for all. He literally imagined building a time machine in his head. His plan was to jump forward 20 minutes to see a future where they were both happy. And in this future, what does he see? He sees them listening to Barry White, laughing, playfully flicking soap bubbles at each other while they do the dishes together. It's perfect. It's a fun, collaborative solution. What could go wrong? So, he jumps back to the present, finds his wife who's still mad, and he pitches his brilliant idea. Hey, I've got it. I'll do the pans, you do the counters, we'll put on some Barry White, we'll have a bubble fight, it'll be great! And her response? Just a flat, angry, fuck you. And she storms off. His perfect, logical, even fun solution was met with pure rage. The time machine completely and totally failed. But why? Later that night, around 4 a.m., it just hits him. He has this huge epiphany about why his brilliant plan was such an absolute disaster. He had tried to fix the problem without first fixing the feeling between them. And this, right here, this is the core lesson. Trying to apply a logical solution when your partner feels hurt or unheard, it's like trying to put a Band-Aid on a broken bone. It's totally useless. You have to heal the emotional connection first. Solution comes second. So what was the real solution? It wasn't Bubbles or Barry White. It was a 20-minute conversation. It was him finally saying, you know what, I feel overwhelmed and totally alone with all this. And it was her saying, and I feel so undervalued, like nothing I do around here is even seen. It was just simple, raw empathy. And here's where the magic happens. Once that connection was back, any logistical outcome suddenly became okay. He could do the dishes, she could do the dishes. They could do them together. Heck, they could leave them in the sink until morning. The problem of the dishes just vanished. Because the real problem, that emotional disconnection, had finally been solved. So how do you actually solve that real problem of disconnection? Well, that's where this really powerful framework comes in. Think of it like a new operating system for your relationship, one that replaces that default problem-solving mode. It's called empathy cubed. So what is it exactly? Well, imagine for a second that you're a little bird sitting on a wire and you're looking down at the two of you fighting. From up there, you're not just stuck in your own head anymore. You can see the whole system.
your feelings, your partner's feelings, and how the two of you are bouncing off each other. And it breaks down into 3 really essential parts. First, there's empathy for yourself, understanding why you feel the way you do. Second, there's empathy for your partner, getting a genuine sense of their perspective. And third, there's empathy for the us, seeing why this specific dynamic is so tricky for you as a couple.
And that right there, that's the golden moment. It's that deep feeling of understanding where you can finally, honestly say, okay, I get it. I see why I'm reacting this way. I see why you're reacting that way. And I see why this stupid dance keeps happening between us. It is a total game changer.
And look, this isn't just some vague, feel-good idea. This emotional effort has real, tangible, biological benefits. This is the real work that proves the strength of your relationship. When you actually achieve this empathy-cubed state, your bodies literally calm down. You shift out of that stressed-out fight-or-flight mode and into what's called your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest state. You physically, actually, begin to feel safer with each other. And the results are just incredible. You can see them in real time. Couples will literally sit closer to each other, they make more eye contact, they become way more collaborative, and they come up with much better solutions because they're not fighting anymore. They're a team. It even improves your sleep.
So if there's one crucial takeaway, it's this. The most important work you can possibly do in your partnership isn't solving the logistical stuff. It's the hard emotional work of reconnecting, of getting back to that bird on a wire perspective over and over and over again. That is the true measure of a strong relationship.
Which leaves us with one last really powerful question to think about. The next time you feel a conflict starting to brew, just stop and ask yourself this. Are you trying to solve the problem, or are you trying to build a team?